Let's come back to the history of dYdX. dYdX was founded in 2018 by Antonio Giuliano. The history of dYdX started in the very early days on Ethereum mainnet, before the layer 2 technology kind of popped up. And dYdX has been recognized over the years to be very bold and very opinionated on innovations and being ready to always step on the best technology available to improve the experience and the performance of the chain itself. So that's when we migrated to layer 2 on the top of Ethereum with the Starkware ecosystem, and where we grew to $1 trillion of trading volume since inception. Over time, we grew with the layer 2 ecosystem. We were very active users and contributors to the Starkware ecosystem. But the engineers felt that there was a little bit of kind of slowdown on innovations because we had a dependency on the general purpose layer 2 that is Starkware. The same applies to any layer 2 and any general purpose blockchain. That's when the engineers start to look around and saying, okay, how can we improve the performance? How can we keep the velocity of innovation? And how can we also improve on our roadmap for decentralization? We are all aiming at being decentralized, but there is sometimes limitation by the technology, and we looked at how the Cosmos SDK could help. So we've been benchmarking many different solutions. We came down to the decisions to grow and deploy on the dYdX chain built on the Cosmos SDK. And then we started our, I would say, next step of decentralization. So we built the chain. The chain was launched in December last year. We are proud and very honored to have more than 160 validators and 60 of them being active on the dYdX chain to really contribute to the performance of the chain, the security of the chain, and also the pace of innovation. So we reached full decentralization in 2024. The one important piece which the engineers of dYdX wanted to really work and focus on and deliver on was the decentralization of the order book. So technically, I know many of you are engineers and technical. The dYdX Ethereum version was having an off-chain on AWS order book because there was no technology available to essentially support the velocity and the needs of an order book on-chain. Eventually, with the chain of dYdX coming to live in December, the order book, which is a core component of the protocol, is now technically decentralized, but not on-chain. And that's where the validators are playing a very important role. Validators on dYdX have two roles. One is to monitor, mint new blocks, and verify blocks. That's a very typical type of missions for validators. But they're also hosting a copy of the order book within their RAM memory, and they keep whispering the order room. So that's where we get a solution which allows us to have a high-velocity order book, and the order book cannot support 1 second block time. It has to be much faster, but also having reached the decentralization of the order book itself. So it gives you a little bit an history, a refresher on how we've been evolving and how, as an app chain and a leading app in DeFi, we've been kind of technology agnostic and really user-centric and performance-centric, with having kind of mental freedom to pick the right technology rather than staying where we were born, but where maybe there was some constraint to our growth. Some dYdX chain statistics to get you a little bit a sense of how the growth of the ecosystem has been evolving. So since inception last December, dYdX chain recorded $166 billion of trading volume. So this places us within the top of the DEXs in the perpetuals type of market. But we also distributed 32 million of USDC rewards to stakers and validators. That's a very important point here, and one reason amongst others why dYdX migrated to its own chain. So a question I often get is, where are these USDC coming from, and what is the APR? So as an app chain, we were able to essentially revamp the token economics of dYdX, and essentially when you stake dYdX, you don't get dYdX tokens. You get fees collected by the protocol, the trading fees paid by the user of the protocol, the traders. So depending on the volume of activity of the day on dYdX, the APR in USDC will vary as well. So that's a very interesting way to look at essentially the evolution of a governance token only, which was sitting on Ethereum, to now a utility token sitting on the dYdX chain and providing services to the chain itself. More than 200,000 million of dYdX are staked. 70% of the dYdX from Ethereum have migrated effectively to the dYdX chain. And the governance has been very active and allowing us to essentially expand the universe of tradable assets within dYdX to more than 120 trading pairs. And this is thanks again to the governance, which through these different votes and governance upgrade, there was a capability to upgrade the software, but also upgrade the capabilities of the marketplace itself. How user can get rewarded in the world of dYdX, there is essentially 3 streams of rewards. That's how the kind of token economics and incentive programs are working on dYdX. The first one is staking. We'd like to thank the 25,000 stakers, and this number is growing by the week, which are contributing to the security and the performance of the chain. Those users and stakers are rewarded in USDC and a little bit of dYdX token, which are just the gas fees, which are very minimal. There is also trading rewards. dYdX protocol is a DeFi protocol. People trade on dYdX, but they get also rewarded when they trade. So as soon as you execute a trade, within the same second, you get your trade executed, but you also get rewards in dYdX tokens for essentially the activity you bring on the ecosystem. $12 million of dYdX have been distributed to users of the protocol via some trading rewards. And then there is an initiative from the DAO, one of the DAO of the dYdX ecosystem, and this initiative is called the Launch Incentive Program, essentially to kind of kickstart the chain and accelerating the migration. And this is led by a company called Chaos Lab via some works together with one of the DAOs of dYdX, and more than $20 million of dYdX have been essentially assigned and distributed to traders, market makers, and people contributing to the overall liquidity of the ecosystem. Token economics, they are important. They've changed totally, as I mentioned earlier, thanks to the migration to the dYdX chain. So today, 70% of the dYdX token in existence have been unlocked. So we've been through the process already, and we are very much advanced. There is a token economics schedule, which I will not go deep dive. Please go to the documentation for that. But essentially, one of the takeaways for you today is that the token emission has been reduced by minus 75% since this month of July 2024. So this is evolving, and this is evolving in the right direction. And it's important for everyone to be really as updated as you can on those token economics. They are important for the overall, I will say, velocity of dYdX itself. 600 million dYdX are currently circulating, and 78 million dYdX are essentially managed and vested inside the community treasury, which the community decide to allocate to different initiatives. Should it be a DAO, the operation DAO, the grants DAO? The foundation also got funded by the community a few months ago. So that's on the token economics. One thing I wanted to double click on with you this morning was how we see and how we essentially deliver on composability and co-building. dYdX is an app chain, and composability with app chain is not something so easy. You want to keep the focus of your chain, you want to keep the performance, but we are very proud and very grateful for all the partners building with us. 3 partners, there is many more, but 3 which are really to highlight. In a few months, dYdX will be enabling Cosmowasm. So this will essentially open the world of interoperability and also EVM compatibility for the chain itself. We've been doing some great work, and thanks to the team of Skip Protocol and their product Slinky, to upgrade the systems of Price Oracle at dYdX. dYdX goes interchain via this Price Oracle. As a derivative protocol, we don't need the physical coins to be on the chain of dYdX, but we can represent them via this great technology from Skip. So one of the best illustrations of this co-building and cross-chain type of activities is a few weeks ago, where enabled all the listed assets on Radium from Solana being listable and tradable on dYdX. That's why you've seen more than 70 or 80, I lost count, new tokens being listed on dYdX chain, thanks to the governance and thanks to the collaboration enabled by the Skip protocol and the co-build between the 2 teams here. And we very much look forward also to the production step of our collaboration with Elixir. Elixir will be essentially enabling and bringing liquidity to vaults. So vaults are coming to dYdX. They will enable essentially the long tail asset where the liquidity is a little bit more sporadic to be supported by AMM. So essentially you will see the core products of dYdX, which is the order book, taking care of the mainstream asset where the liquidity is organic and strong, but also supporting the upcoming tokens by an AMM system. So usually young tokens will start with an AMM support, something similar to what Uniswap is doing. And as soon as they kind of grow in size, they will graduate to essentially go to the order book and get the efficiency of the order book type of trading. So 3 ways for us to deliver on collaborations when we build, but also thinking on how we deliver given our specificities on cross-chain and cross-ecosystem collaborations. How we support the ecosystem. The ecosystem is supported by the foundation. You will see and meet many of them today. We also have representative of the operation DAO this morning here at Nebular. The ecosystem is supported in multiple ways, but one way and one organization within the ecosystem is the Grants DAO, which is created and funded by the community, by the token holders via governance, and they distributed since the beginning of this year of 2024 more than $5 million. So you see here a little bit how these funds have been distributed between community, marketing, security tooling, R&D, but also improving the infrastructure overall. And that's something which is also really much illustrated what David was touching on earlier, how the governance is enabling high velocity of decisions, high velocity of executions. So we'd like to thank the trustees, the operators of the DAO. I think you guys are doing a fantastic work and you're enabling some key partners to build and grow with us at dYdX. Four projects which I want to highlight to you. Many people have been asking when is Kepler wallet compatible with dYdX. It's coming in a few weeks. This has been granted and supported by the Grants DAO, so this is coming. Stay tuned on that. We are also experimenting together with the Urbit protocol for self-hosted front ends. That's something which we also want to enable the community and the users with. But we are also building with Nethermind, which is about to release a Python client for the Cosmos, sorry, for the dYdX protocol. And as we mentioned, the very ambitious delivery which happened a few weeks ago together with Skip. How is the roadmap looking like? Permissionless market, we are delivering on this. This is a vision for us. It comes in multiple different steps. The first step you've seen is how we essentially enable permissionless listing from assets listed on Solana coming to dYdX. Word in the street that the base crypto assets based on the layer 2 base are also coming and on their way to dYdX. So permissionless market is a kind of a long layer of roadmap deliverables, and this is progressing well. This will be supported, as I mentioned earlier, by the Vault integrations within the protocol. There is also constant work on the core trading. dYdX move on average $1 billion of trading volume daily. So that means that we can always optimize essentially the experience, the performance, the resilience of some core components of the chain, and this is keep progressing. We mentioned earlier different additional clients to connect to dYdX, C++, Rust, Go, and Python. And there is also some constant UX and onboarding upgrades. The Android apps was released by the Operation DAO a few months ago, and there is constant adjustment on the UX overall to improve the experience of users of dYdX. So to give you a sum up a little bit of what keeps us busy and what will keep us busy in the coming months, we delivered on additional market. More than 122 markets are now tradable, and there is a universe of additional markets to be listed. I'll come back to this in a minute. But also unlocking these 800 markets from Solana, and more are coming. So it's basically progressing towards the vision of trade anything, and dYdX being the world's largest DeFi protocol, enabling users to express their opinion on the market on multiple markets and type of assets. How to get listed on dYdX? That's something few people are necessarily aware of that, but that's something which was enabled by the latest upgrade of dYdX, the upgrade towards the version 5. So essentially, with the upgrade of the infrastructure, we get all these price feeds. We can list many more assets. So it's really a call to our friends from the Cosmos ecosystem. If you're working on your own token and you want to be listed on dYdX, this is as simple as 1, 2, 3. You head up to dYdX.trade/market/new. You will find this little widget where you will get the list of the tradable assets, and you will be able to essentially trigger a governance proposal for the community to enable your market to be listed. So you access dYdX.trade, you select the market, you propose a new market, and within 4 days, essentially, the community will assess your market, will assess the technology behind, will make sure the price feed is solid enough, and within a few hours after the vote passes, and if the vote is positive, the market will be tradable. You are also free, and this is the 3 Bs here on the slide, to design some incentive for users, some of your users, to essentially accelerate the price discovery of your newly listed assets on dYdX. So feel free to scan the QR code here. Feel free to reach out to the good people from the dYdX ecosystem here today in the room and within the event, so we can essentially explain to you how this works and assist you if you have any questions, so you can make the best of the world leading decentralized DeFi crypto exchange. Thank you very much for your time. We look forward to the follow-up conversations behind. Thank you.